Welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. I think I'm Jason Green. Anyway, it is Wednesday, and you know Wednesday means it's time for another exciting, fun-packed, entertaining show, and that's why I'm here. This is a kind of a last-second surprise show. I wasn't sure we were going to go live today. I've had company, if you will. And we've been on the road so much, Johnny Monaco and I, that it gets tiring and you forget where you are and what day it is and who you are and how you got into these pants and and whose pants and just all these things are just very confusing. Each day, I think a little bit more that I'm losing my mind and I'm becoming Bruce Willis. If you're not familiar, Bruce Willis is suffering from dementia. I do these interviews and people seem to like them. I thank you for that, but I am forgetting everything every second. So who knows? Maybe this will be the show where I completely lose my mind. But you'll have to find out. So stick around. We'll talk about all those things and more right after. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I know to waste time with you. All right. First things first. Things that matter. This channel now has 13,000 subscribers. That's thanks to you for watching. I appreciate that. Subscribing. If you're new here, you can subscribe. Join the party. We're closing in on 2 million views. How about that? Never thought. Well, I did think I'm lying. When I started this channel, what I did is I looked at what the other channels had been doing, the ones who talk about Dokken or Trickster or Warrant or Rat, and I said I'm going to have higher numbers than all of them, and that was my plan. And some of the people had 7,000, some had 8, some had 10. And I said, okay, well, I'll just pass them all. And that's what happened. And here we are, the #1 channel in that talks about Dokken or Trickster or Warrant or Rat. Anyway, and it's a huge honor, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you guys watch this channel. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I try to keep it real, as they say. And some really great interviews coming up anyway. We're not going to just sit here and celebrate these milestones because we got a lot to get to. Coming up, I just finished interviewing Riki Rachtman. Riki Rachtman, as you know, owned the Cat House in Hollywood and also was the host of the Headbangers Ball. I had tried to get Riki on a few times and he ignored my messages. But Stevie Rochelle from Metal Sludge put us in touch. Riki's about to go out on a tour, the One Foot in the Gutter tour. He does a spoken word tour. It seems like a really interesting idea. Riki is very honest. I said to him in the interview, one of the reasons he's qualified to do this one-man show is just how candid he is. His stories about the Cat House obviously are insane, and how Axl Rose got him, really helped him and made a call to get him the job on the Headbangers Ball. And as I said to Riki and to the audience, whether you loved him or hated him, most people spent their Saturday nights with Riki Rachtman and the Headbangers Ball. So, yeah, but it wasn't all sunshine and roses, and he had some times when he was flat broke. And he talks about the highs and lows. And I think if it comes to your city, you'll want to check out One from the Governor. You can go to cathousehollywood.com to read all about that. He's got some cool merch and things on there as well. So it was an honor to talk to him, and I think we had a really fun conversation. My brain was in and out a couple of times. I had questions. I don't use notes most of the time anymore. When I started the show, I had some notes, but they were just very general notes, talking points. I feel like interviews should be a good conversation. A lot of the reason why a lot of channels you may or may not watch are bad is because they don't do that. They're so busy thinking about what their next question will be. So I had a few little blackout moments. I've got a headache today, so who knows? I hate to seem neurotic because obviously that's the last thing I am. But speaking of neurotic, Johnny Monaco will be here soon to help me through this. But anyway, so Ricky Rackman interview is coming very soon. Steve Riley and I did an update. Steve Riley of LA Guns, who's also in Wasp. He now has his band Riley's LA Guns. They have a new album out, Golden Robot Records. It's not out yet. Comes out in May. I've heard it. It's good. I enjoyed it, and I listened to the whole thing. And then Steve Riley and I talked track by track about who wrote the song, how it came about, and I think that's a good conversation. That's coming soon too. This Friday, I'll be interviewing Jason Byler of the band Saigon Kick. I don't know that much about Jason. I haven't studied yet, but I'm going to look into it. And he will be here Wednesday 13, and I are still trying to find a date. He will be here of the Murder Dolls, and big news that I don't know if I should say it yet, but there is somebody who is in a band where there's two bands and there's a controversy, but this person is the singer, and I can't see why this person and maybe some other former members can't come together and call themselves Queensryche. So we'll have the, I can't say who, but anyway, that interview is supposed to be coming very soon. New tour diary is finished. We had a copyright thing with music that we had to remove. It was actually supposed to be public domain music. It was kind of bullshit. It's a scene of a bear walking on a garbage dumpster in Tennessee. And we used this little soft, silly music. And it had a copyright, so I had to pull that down. I will let you know if you're a Patreon of my channel. One, I thank you. But two, there's a lot of entertainment coming your way. You're going to be watching a lot of stuff. The Ricky Rackman interview, the Steve Riley interview, you're going to watch them before everybody else. And then that, the next tour diary, which I believe is episode 14. Hard to believe it's 14 of these. I'm almost caught up. Some people think I'm behind. It's not how it works. When you watch a show, it's filmed and then it's edited and then it's released. So it's not like I'm trying to give you topical things. Most of the shit that happens on the road, Eric pees his bed, allegedly, those type of things. It doesn't matter if you saw it 6 months ago or now. I don't think he really peed his bed. But P-Gate has been incredibly popular. If you didn't know what I'm talking about, then go watch the last tour diary. Okay, let's look at some of your questions and comments, shall we? All right, so let me put on my reading glasses. All right, who's here? 81 Shovelhead. Good evening from Minneapolis. I spend a lot of time in Minneapolis. Airports, the most. Okay, let's see. Brian Kirk is joining us from Canada. Headspace is here. Okay, I'm trying to get everybody. Michelle Simon, Wayne McDowell, Into the Mystic, Michael Perez, Rob, Jason Holstein, Michelle S. Hello, hello. Michelle is on her way from Arizona to Las Vegas, and hopefully she'll be here soon. Okay. Oh, Vito Brada is here. Very important. Thank you, Vito, so much for the super sticker. Please be like Vito and contribute to this channel. Brittany Fox, Billy Childs from Brittany Fox will be here soon. So, okay. I've been waiting for you guys. Wish I'd known you were stuck in Baltimore. I would have stopped down and said hello. Well, that was a last second decision, but it could happen again. Georgia is here, and she just got the notification. Wow. And she missed last week, but you're here now, and that's all that matters. Show in Cleveland was a lot of fun. Don't even remember Cleveland, but I'm sure it was fun. Let's see here. Jason Byler is hilarious, and his records are amazing. Well, that's great. I'm going to listen to one of his records today. G. John Clark says he had a great time, or it was a great show in Montclair. Montclair was the last show. Here's Martha. Hi, Martha. Martha, Michelle, and I went to a place called the Milk Bar in the Cosmopolitan. Johnny and I usually go there for our very heterosexual dates. It's an ice cream kind of joint. Anyway, it was good to see you, Martha. We also saw her at the Winger concert, which we'll talk about when Johnny gets here. He had a shave. Blackjack would like to see a tour of my crib. Maybe it could happen at some point. I moved a lot of things into the house. It's a little mess. We're trying to get organized, but one of these days. Um, Mr. Jane Public, thank you for showing support to Riley's Other Guns. I'm sickened at how the old bandmates badmouth Riley and Kelly. Total hypocrisy, as they literally say they are, as they hire assistant songwriters for LA Guns. I've heard that LA Guns has somebody write all their songs for them now. Maybe they're involved, and maybe they're not. I don't know. But I mean, that's what I've heard. I heard there's a guy in New York who writes those songs. I haven't heard anything that I liked that much, but I don't really listen. And this is all hearsay. But I do think that one of the reasons that Riley's LA Guns is still around is because of all the shit talking from the other side. I think maybe that's died down a little bit. I hope it has. But I call Riley's LA Guns a spite band. If you're familiar with Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know about the spite coffee shops. And anyway, I think that people wanted to hear something else. There's room for everything. I talked to Steve Riley in the interview. One of the points that I make with him is that, of course, he's going to use the name LA Guns. He legally had 50% of it at one point, and he's been in that band. He kept it going when no other members were. So, of course, he's going to use it, but the band sounds different. The record does not sound like a typical LA Guns record. It doesn't sound like they're recycling old LA Guns riffs. There's a lot of different things, and I think as a new band, people would enjoy it. The problem is that how do you discover new bands? Okay, so you get that. Into the Mystic would like some birthday love from Johnny Monaco and Jason Green. Tomorrow is the day. Love you guys. Well, Into the Mystic, if that is your real name, a happy birthday. When Johnny's here, I'm sure he'll wish you a happy birthday as well. So anyway, thank you for spending a little early your birthday with us. JB is here, running a little late, but no such thing. As long as you're here, that's a good thing. Blue Soldier from St. Louis, Missouri. I want to make sure everybody gets, we know how many cool people are watching. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here's Iowa. Iowa, the home of P-Gate, the most controversial moment in touring history. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch the last tour diary. Into the Mystic, thank you so much for the super chat. That is very kind of you. Which reminds me, I gotta, like I said, I didn't think I was going to do a show today. When this thing started, I'll do a few interviews, I'll get rich, and that'll be it. But then all of a sudden, I started doing these live shows, and they started to take off, and people enjoy them. I would love to do like a morning show, Monday through Wednesday, and like a Howard Stern, but not that type of thing. Maybe more like Regis and Kathy Lee, but with Johnny Monaco or whatever. But I'd like to talk about topics and things like that. But I've said this before in the show. This show needs like some kind of producer or something. I talked to Johnny a few minutes ago, and I said, "What are we going to talk about?" He wasn't prepared to come on. I said, "Hey, let's do a show in 20 minutes." And then it's like, well, where have we been and what has happened? Even if you're just doing weekend fly dates, it feels like you've been on the road for 400 days. It's exhausting. So okay, thank you, Into the Mystic, and again, happy birthday. Let's see what else is going on here. Mick Toombs would like to know what's cracking. Mr. Jane Public would like to know how my nose is since the surgery. It's okay. It's a very strange thing. In the cold weather and stuff, I feel it, or really hot weather. There is a scar there. I'm fine with it. I'd rather have a scar than have cancer, right? Okay. Hello, Tyson. Hello, Dave. Let's see, it's Corky. And hey, Jeff, thank you so much. Awesome vids. Love your channel. Much appreciated. Let's see. Dave Balls will be in Vegas for Tesla on the 17th. Well, I'm going to try to go to see as many of those Tesla residency shows as I can. And Johnny Monaco has told me he can't wait, that he would like to hear every song Tesla has ever recorded. So hopefully we will get to that soon. Tyson just moved here from Washington State. Hope to meet up sometime. Well, you can find Johnny Monaco playing with his band, Johnny and the Cucks, on the Strip at any time, and you'll enjoy it. Okay. Wayne, His birthday is March 11th. You know, I went to see Donny Osmond last night, and Donny Osmond has this birthday song. It's actually very cool. It's a smart idea. I think you can go to Hallmark and you can buy a custom thing of him singing, and then they put your name in it. And anyway, and he addressed all the birthdays. So that sounds, I feel like that's what's going on today. Everybody is celebrating birthdays. Okay, Michelle Lane. Opulence MTB. Hope all is well, Cincinnati, Ohio. We had to cancel a show in Ohio, but there will be more. Here's a guy named Johnny Minico. Huh. What do you know? Sounds like everyone's a comedian today. Okay. Oh, Into the Mystic is Christy. Christy, thank you so much for watching the show, and I hope you have a happy birthday. It's going to be great. What are your plans for this exciting birthday? You and Johnny should eat at Jonah's Deli next time in LA. Okay, I didn't know about Jonah's Deli, but I would be happy to do it. Snowing in Wyoming. Sometimes people say things and I'm not sure what they mean, like this one here. Oops, better put my wiener away. I don't know what that means, but okay. When will your band play a gig again? Well, tragically, Scotty Griffin, lead singer of the Sin City Rejects, has moved to Florida. And so I don't know when that band will play again. I've been thinking I'd like to play some music again one day, just for fun. I don't care about anything else. So I'm trying to think of what the options are. Maybe I go down to Florida or bring Scotty here, or maybe I do something. A guy named Dirk Vermin, who was on a TV show about tattoos. He's a tattoo artist. Maybe I would do something with him. He had subbed for him a few times. And then there's always Johnny Monaco. Johnny Monaco would love to play the music of Johnny Thunders. He's a fan. Joe, I think Johnny's dancing in the background, and he might be naked. Or maybe he's shaving. I can't tell. Joe Diaz is psyched about the Wednesday 13 interview. Hey, and then thank you, Scars Look Bad. And hey, we have a legend with us today, Mark Weiss, Guy Weiss, and the decade that rocked. We should point out, Mark Weiss, we did a 2-part series trying to figure out who was the mystery man in the photo that he took of Tony Katane. We have found that person. We had special guests. If you missed that, go back and watch it. But Mark Weiss will be joining me next week live, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And they are promoting his book, which I have right here, actually. This book is called Keep On Rolling, My Fan Club Years with Kevin DuBrow and Quiet Riot. And it's written by Missy Whitney, who was the fan club president for Kevin DuBrow and Quiet Riot. So next Wednesday, Rudy Sarzo will be here from Quiet Riot, and Missy will be here, who wrote the book. And then later in the show, we'll be joined by Mark Weiss and Ron Sobel, both legendary photographers, to talk about their experiences with Quiet Riot. And they are also promoting a book event. They have a virtual book release event, and that is what they will be here. And I'm going to show you that because you might want to get in on this thing. We'll remind you again next week. But this is the virtual book release event, Keep On Rolling, My Fan Club Years with Kevin DuBrow and Quiet Riot, March 11th, 2023. So I think I probably screwed this plug up. I think they're going to be here after the event, because the day they'll be on the show is the 8:15. But anyway, you can watch it for $10. You buy a ticket and you can watch it all the way until March 31st, 2023. You see a lot of cool people who are going to be part of this. Joe Lynn Turner, Stephen Piercy, Dee Snider, Rudy Sarzo. Who else is on there? Mitch Perry, Roxy Petrucci, Jeff Scott Soto, Ron Sobel, of course, Mark Weiss. Anyway, all you got to do is go to Meathook Live/Keep On Rolling, and you can Google or go to Mark Weiss's social media. But we're going to have a really great conversation next week, and I'm thankful to Mark for bringing this together. I've wanted to have Rudy Sarzo on the show for quite some time, and now he's finally here. So, okay, anyway, we got that out of the way. Let's see. Today, Eddie Trunk said he thought Carlos Cavazo fell off the map. You interviewed him. Trunk texted Carlos and is waiting for a response. Uh, Listen, I have the only modern interview with Carlos Cavazo. I have two with him. That interview, the first one, reached 100,000 views. So, do I think other journalists would like to have Carlos on? I think they would. Do I think Carlos will do it? Probably not. I'm fortunate that he did my show and that we have a good relationship and we had a good interview, but he is not looking to promote anything really. And there's other business things, and who knows what will happen. But I bet you he'll be on this show again before he's on any other ones, and that's a good thing for us. Okay, and Johnny's going to be here in just a second. Hello from RK asks a nice thing. Is it true that they pinch half the super chat money? Should we donate somewhere else for the full enchilada? Johnny and I might be going for enchiladas tonight for dinner. You can sign up for my Patreon. That helps. They don't take a full half, but they do take a lot, but it is still much appreciated and helps build the channel, shows the YouTube how important we are. Driving Wheels with Keith. Thank you. Indy Cole would like to hear Johnny sing. All right, I got to get Johnny's waiting. We can't. Brian Kirk says Mark Weiss is a great guest. He is. Michelle Simon says she loves his book, Decade That Rocked, as well as this book are both great and both available now. Okay. Oh, here, hold on. Vito Brada has something to say. Looking forward to the Jeff Tate interview. I never said it was Jeff Tate. Vito is speculating. He has a very relaxing voice. He should have an ASMR channel. I think Johnny might be working on an ASMR channel as well. Okay. Will we ever get a Lizzie Borden interview? Jason Neal. Good to see you, Jason. I think we will. I think we will. Just got to remind me. And okay. Have you ever done the Rockin' Pod? I'm more familiar with Tide Pods than I am with Rockin' Pods. There was some talk about Johnny Monaco and I appearing at this event. I think this is the last one they're doing. I don't know. Farewell. I'm not sure. Anyway, it didn't work out. So I'm not sure I want to sit in a room with a bunch of YouTubers. You know, I got enough problems in my life. This is a good segue to Johnny. Usually I say angry things and then go. And speaking of angry, here's Johnny. Scarlett says, would you ever interview guitarist Steve Stevens? Johnny and I were in the, I don't know where the fuck we were. Johnny, where were we when the guy asked you if he said he looked like Steve Stevens?
We were at the airport in Burbank.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Guy came over and he said, Johnny, I like the new look. I know that you had a lot of criticism. I like it. We'll get into why you have that new look. But this guy said that Johnny looked like Steve Stevens. And then I told the guy something very personal about Johnny's relationship with Steve Stevens that I don't think we can share on this show. Right, Johnny? No. Okay. And well, Johnny, but it's not a secret that you dated, right? Is that a secret?
We didn't date.
You didn't.
It's a very short time period.
Well, Steve Stevens is married to Josie Stevens, who was once Josie Pearl from Illinois. Jizzy Pearl's where she got the surname Pearl, and you and her were friends anyway. And I made a point of that on to this gentleman. I don't think you looked like Steve Stevens, but this guy did. Johnny, people were complaining last few shows that you don't smile enough.
I'm working on that.
Yeah, I'm noticing, and I see that you're really working on it, and people are enjoying it. They love the smile.
Very positive. It's very woke.
Yeah, and
I feel just like a vegetarian or a vegan.
I don't know if you have children out there, but Mickey says Daddy's in the house, and
call me that.
And okay, and so you are smiling more. sometimes bands they feel like you have to present yourself in a certain way, and a lot of people felt like on stage you could smile more, and
Uh,
so you're working on
and off stage, I usually am not smiling because I'm hungry.
it. Mhm.
This doesn't just happen overnight. I don't want to wreck this tempo I got going. So I'm changing things around. I'm changing my outlook on everything, my life, and my what I expect from people. And the bar, the lowering of the bar should be more accepted, and just gentler, less judgment. No one needs to be past judgment on every day when they're doing everything wrong. So this is how you do it. A grin and a smile. And look, don't I look happy?
I think you look thrilled, and I think it's working. Obviously, so for those of you who were concerned that Johnny wasn't having a good time, obviously, by that face, you can tell that he's having a great time. Let's rewind, Johnny, and tell people where we'll pick up where we left off. Last time we saw this beautiful audience, we were in Baltimore, Maryland, at the airport, and we were on a 14-hour travel day. We had a 4-hour delay in the airport, and we went to. Excuse me. I'm drinking this. This is a new thing, Coca-Cola Zero Sugar by Rosalia. I don't really even know what that means. They're not a sponsor, but this is called Move Limited Edition. It's supposed to be like a strawberry flavor. It really sucks, but I thought I could use a little caffeine because my head hurts. But I don't recommend it. Move Rosalia soda. Mm, terrible. Anyway, so Johnny's trying to keep. He's so happy that he's cracking himself up. Smiling is just too much for him. But he's.
It really does. Really, it's hot. That's hot in here.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so where were we last? Oh, at the airport.
In Maryland.
That's right. And then immediately after that, some nice enough people chipped in because they were concerned about our dinner.
That is right. That is where we left off. We people were nice. They kicked in some money, and you and I were able to go and they recommended a place for us to eat.
Oh, did they recommend a place?
I can't remember the name of it. It sounded like maybe like a Polish last name.
It was supposed to be, whoever sent it said this is very popular. It's been in business for 40 years. They got the best ones in town. They're known for their crab cakes, which is, we like to have what the locals have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Stephen Piercy and his lovely fiancée, Christy, they were eating there earlier. Funny enough, they asked us to join them, but we had to go and do this broadcast. And so we went, did our show. We found a quiet little terminal to set up, and we did the show. And the viewers were nice enough to super chat so that we could afford it. Because I will be honest, when we got to the restaurant, it was very expensive. They had crab cakes in different a variety. You could get it fried or you can get it broiled. You were okay with either. I chose fried. And these things were very expensive. And then so we ordered a crab soup, and then we had crab cakes, and we had some kind of coleslaw that didn't taste like coleslaw. And Christy texted me to tell me that they were moving. Our flight was transferred to a different gate. I told her that we were eating in that restaurant, and she said, "Oh no. That food is terrible. It is so bland," and she was not wrong. We still listen. We appreciate everybody for supporting us. And tonight's super chats, maybe we'll go get a better dinner. But Baltimore let us down.
You're being kind. First, we had to bus our own table. Then I had to put away 3 ketchup bottles. Then we were told on the choices that we were made were really good choices. That crab cake was around like a hush puppy sized, burnt, terrible ball. It was like bigger than a golf ball, but not, not what you think a crab cake would be. And it was $30. Just that part.
They had 2 for 50. We also had
terrible. The whole thing was terrible.
We
just
got shrimp.
Awful.
We got shrimp. And now he's having a hard time smiling, thinking about it.
It was terrible.
Yeah, we had shrimp tacos that were okay. It was hard to run shrimp tacos, but
yeah, they weren't very tasty though.
Yeah, well, we put some sauce on them.
How about that coleslaw?
And the coleslaw was terrible.
No, it wasn't very good. Let's be nice. Let's.
It was bad, and
okay, it was terrible.
Michelle Lane prefers Johnny's sarcastic look. I think that's just his face. But
I'm very excited about my new persona.
So that trip from Maryland was coming home. We got back to Vegas. We were only here for 2.5 days or so, and then we were on our way to who knows? Where did we? Oh, we went to California. Hold on. Jeff says it's great to see you guys with Stephen Piercy and co-host New York this week. Nice to chat with you, Johnny. And you're smiling way too much.
See, now it's too much.
It was an effort.
It wasn't enough. Now it's too much.
I should say that while we were in Cohoes, New York, and we were somewhere else, the Mohegan Sun. If you didn't hear, Johnny and I had a very, some would call it romantic dinner at a place called the Tuscany. We sat by the waterfall. The problem is, and Johnny did not like. Johnny is he's a bolognese enthusiast, and he does not like amateur bolognese. It must be red. And him and I, as I ordered for us, because that's what a gentleman does. Johnny hated the food. I thought it was not great, but I didn't hate it. It was better than the crab cakes. But so the people at the Mohegan Sun, when you're on tour, you sometimes get a per diem of sorts. The hotel gave us each $100 to put on that we could spend on anything that we like in the hotel. Not gambling. You cannot gamble with it. We would have. But they do let you go to a restaurant and order. We chose the Tuscany. So our bill came, and Johnny said, "Can't we just tip them out of the money they gave us?" And I said, "I don't think so." I said, "I believe that the tip is not included. So you want to go as close to $100 without going over as possible, and then take some money out of your pocket and leave cash for a tip." But we decided to ask the waitress. I don't know if you can still call them that, but she came over and said, "Yes, of course, you can tip out of that 100. That's no problem. We'll take it out of it." And I still didn't believe it, but Johnny and I decided to be generous and leave large tips because it wasn't our money. And Johnny, what happened yesterday?
I looked on my bank statement and I was charged $21.
Yeah, and as was I suppose
I called them and I said, yes, but we had a $100 each on our, and I'm seeing a charge here, and I remember adding it up correctly. Let me get on that, sir. And they went to a different department, and then went, "Well, here's what you did, stupid. You had a food and beverage comp." Yeah. Oh, the gratuity is not included. I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, just so I know, but just for the record, we asked that dummy, and she said, yeah, go ahead." And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well, is there anything else we could do for you?" I'm like, "No." So that's what happened. Because she told us you could do it, or else we would have ran that tab up a little more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We would, if we knew we had to put our own money in, we would have ran it up. Now, we did have a fantastic dessert. You had the burned brown bottom girls, I think it was called.
That has been canceled. You can't say burnt bottom girls. It was a burnt bottom chocolate custard. What do they call that?
Creme brulee?
Yeah. That's it.
And
It was okay. It was okay.
I had some sort of cheesecake, I believe. It was good.
Yeah,
Right.
That place, you know, for the money, we each put in basically $100.
Yes.
And plus the tip for that dummy. And
Johnny, is it true that you're smiling because you have a release date for your new record?
No. Hilarious. I asked some people about this Todd English person, and word is in Las Vegas that he is a thief.
Really?
That's what Ryan Johnson said.
Well, he would know.
But there you go, though, because I was not impressed with his bullshit.
Yes,
it was very expensive. Very expensive.
Todd English is the Grand Poobah at the Tuscany.
Well, his name is on the title.
That's
it says Tuscany, and then underneath it's got, like, you know, why you gotta put your own name on there unless you're someone huge that everybody knows. You know, like McDonald's.
Antonio Martinez has a very nice comment. Johnny has been kicking ass on the Stephen Pearcy gigs. I've been watching the shows on YouTube. You're sounding great. Awesome guitar solos.
Well, that is very kind of you, but I would have to disagree. But I am trying my hardest to pull it together and come up with some one show at least where I don't wince all the way through it. That's all I'm asking for. But it's getting there. Working.
Yeah, Johnny is very hard on himself.
Working on I'm working on a guitar right now. See that back there? Let's put some new saddles on it. Yeah. $75 for just the saddles. Oh, yeah, some good ones, but still, it's kind of a lot.
Let's see here.
Oh, so yeah, you keep. I'll do this then. We went to that place, came back, and then
here's the name of the place,
got
Johnny.
Charge of the money.
If you want to read it, that's the name of the place.
We got charged. Yeah, that place. Yeah, I remember that. I saw that. Yeah, that afterthought. Not going back there. It was, you know, we tried. We were told by the people that are from there that this, and maybe the one in town is good. Nothing at the airport's great. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just those prisoners that were cooking that food just don't have the same finesse as a professional chef, like at Tony English, where a plate of spaghetti is $60 and you can't use your money from the hotel room for gratuity. So.
Yeah, I agree, Johnny. You and I do a lot of flying. We do a lot of that. Have you heard about this lunatic who tried to open the emergency door, and he stabbed one of the flight attendants with a sharp spoon? Now,
yeah,
if you watch the video, there are 3 people sitting in front of him, all sitting very passively,
doing nothing.
Doing nothing, figuring this guy's just a nut. I watched the video last night. And I told Michelle, Johnny and I would have been the first people to put this guy in his place. There is no chance. The longer you let this guy go on, the more power he has. You've got to deal with this right away. Look, he didn't seem like a real threat, but you got to deal with it. Now, what happened was the passengers stepped in because the flight attendant got stabbed. They're okay. But the passengers wrestled this idiot to the ground, and then they zip tied them. Johnny, we have been waiting to zip tie an idiot to the ground. We fly so much. It would have been nice to get up and stretch the legs and just stomp on his head for as long as possible. Johnny, I feel for you, but I would have kicked this guy's head so many times. Probably, if it took 30 minutes to get the flight down, I would probably want to step on his head the entire way. What an idiot. What is wrong with this country?
Yeah.
I don't know where to start, but this guy, and he was a complete loon. They probably could have figured out he was a loon. I can't imagine he just woke up and started talking this bullshit. He was talking, he thought he was a Pokemon character or something.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the whole thing happen. And
I mean, maybe he got skipped like we did, and he just blew up.
Yeah, he snapped for sure. But the people around him are like, that's what people usually do. Unless they're like some kind of hard ass, they're going to sit there and you know, they were mostly white, but they're
They
probably
were
going to sit
very
there
white.
and to be like, you know, just let him do his thing, and maybe he won't stab me in the back of my head. I for sure knew that if someone was screaming like that, I would at least want to be facing him to know if he's going
Right.
to attack. But
At the
those people
very
are so
least,
pretentious; they just sit there with their backs to him, you know.
at the very least, because this guy could stick that spoon in your throat. If you hear something of craziness, you better start reacting. Johnny had a similar experience flying home, I think on Southwest, where an African American gentleman went crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah. He was actually kind of funny, and at the end, they took him to prison. But there was
Yes.
some action on the plane. This kid was a little more, you know, threatening and a little more telling what he's going to do to the plane, and couldn't even open the emergency
He
thing.
did. He did open it, but because you're in the
The
air,
pressure, yeah,
there's
the
no way.
pressure,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
no way that door is going to go. That's how they first were alerted that he was a problem.
Mm.
Then he went into his thing. I don't want to even say the stuff he was saying. I feel like he'd get demonetized. But he was saying terroristic things, if that's a word.
What a dumb idiot, you know. He looked like he was on his way to Coachella.
He definitely looked like that's where he was heading. You know, when you fly, it's difficult. Johnny and I had a guy between us once who looked like he may have been homeless or something.
Oh,
Maybe
that guy, yeah.
he might have got a free flight. He
Crazy.
performed an entire drum solo, a air guitar solo.
Oh, and he was like, it was like Spanish, I think.
He was,
Like an
yeah, he spoke Spanish.
older Spanish man who looks like he drinks.
He was drinking and looked like he was probably on some mind-altering drug
Drugs, yeah.
as well.
Probably
As
a
many
drug mule.
drug mule, yeah. I think his butthole was loaded with fentanyl. A lot of people have watched the tour diaries and see that Johnny and I, our move on the plane is to try to keep the middle seat empty. On Delta, the seats are assigned, but when we buy the tickets, we buy the the window and the aisle. No one should want to buy a middle seat unless the plane is full. Now on Southwest, it's festival seated, much like Woodstock, and we have to defend our seat. I always ask if the plane is full. Let's say they say there's 2 empty seats. It's Johnny and I's job to make sure no one sits between us. And so far, our record is really strong. The last time we did it, there was one person on the plane, the empty seat. It was between us. And the last few times, we've enforced our seat with a smile, of course. So we came home from that terrible crab experience, and sorry, I'm just trying to read the comments at the same time.
Yeah, then we get on the plane, and then did something happen other than my guitar get smashed by Southwest? That happened. Some other stuff happened probably. I don't remember.
Well,
ago.
they say you probably shouldn't do that smile 300 feet with a school. Might be true. That would be Eric, not Fuentos, Eric Geyer. So we sorry, hold on. I was reading the comments. Anyway, we had that fantastic trip. We came home, and then you and I flew to Burbank, where Michelle met us at the airport, and we stayed at a wonderful hotel called what was the name of that place?
Glendale.
The Glenmark.
The Glenmark.
Yeah, Glenmark. What a commercial. Anyway, they are fans of Johnny Monaco and other rock and rollers. They gave us a very, very fair deal. And I can't tell you, I've stayed in every hotel in Los Angeles.
I love that hotel. I could live there.
Yes, it was beautiful. They have a sushi bar on the roof. They have an amazing little coffee shop. They serve Italian food. You do not feel like you're in Los Angeles. There's no tent cities. There's no crackheads. And we had a really nice stay. We needed to be somewhere in the area of Agora Hills and Montclair. It still was a bit of a commute, but in Los Angeles, everything is a commute based on traffic. The first show in Agora Hills at the Canyon Club, we had a nice time. They take good care of you. Everyone got a steak, a very large steak. The steak was so good, Johnny had it again the next night. Oh, sorry. Brian Forsythe of Kicks recommends you eat nothing but meat.
Yeah.
Uh, or animal products. He says. I read an article today that said people who have that diet, the one he has, will definitely get heart disease.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds shocking, but he eats nothing but meat. Sometimes he'll throw some eggs on that meat.
Mm.
But it's bacon and it's sausage and it's beef
Oh.
and it's pork.
Whoa.
No bread, no sauce, no nothing. Just
Mm.
meat, meat, meat.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so Johnny was trying his best to follow that diet. He had the steak. Anyway, Cannon Club was nice to us. It was a good crowd. Stephen Pearson shows have been well attended. Everybody seemed to have a nice time. Everyone drove in their own cars. You and I went with Michelle. And my old friend Rachel was selling the merchandise for those 2 nights. She was in the band Sin City Rejects with me.
Mm.
She lives in the Pasadena area, which is next to Glendale, which is next to Burbank. And so they were there. It was a great that was a great show. After that show, we went back to the Glen Mark, and from there we went. Well, first we heard some great stories. Scott Coogan is such the prankster and party animal. He had so much fun at the Glenmark and earlier the Grafton, and we heard all about his wild encounters. What a fun guy. Wild Scott Coogan, drummer for Stephen Pearcy. So next day we went to Montclair, not Montclair, New Jersey, Montclair, California, where the Canyon Club is in a shopping mall. Right? I mean, it's actually a shopping in the shopping mall.
Right across from Sephora.
Yeah, Sephora too. The Hot Topic and the Starbucks. Starbucks was closed, but it's a bunch of kids hanging out at the mall, and then there's a rock concert. The way that Canyon Club works is that there are tables in front of the stage.
Yeah.
Sort of like dinner theater. It seems strange to see a rock concert like that. People did seem to have a good time. There was a lot of people there. The meet and greet was crazy. The line to meet Steven was really nuts that night. A lot of passionate fans. And Rat's first ever a roadie was there. It started in 1980. His name was John. I forgot his last name. But and I interviewed him a little bit, and we should have him on the show because boy, does he have amazing Rat stories and some stuff that the other guys might not remember. So, and then on the way home, so we played that show, and it was fine. And I was filming the tour diary. A lot of times I thought nothing was going to happen. Why am I filming this? But occasionally there was moments. Our flight was delayed from Burbank Airport. Johnny and I dined at Wolfgang Puck, and we had the what did we have?
Barbecue chicken pizza
with corn, not by our choice. Barbecue chicken pizza that had corn. It was fantastic,
I thought it was good. Yeah, I liked it.
And it was actually an okay deal for $20. They gave us a pizza that was big enough for 2 people for sure. For one person, it would have been too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't have eaten that whole thing. It was good. We saw a lady though sitting in a chair next to us eating 3 times the amount.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You see all kinds
in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
It's too big.
You see all kinds in the airports.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's a good question. Donna Deanda asks, when are you coming to California? As we just told a story about how we spent the weekend in California.
Back there eventually. So
why didn't Johnny return the crab cake? It's lighter than a mattress. I've never seen Johnny send food back. I've never seen that.
Why if someone asks if I have hemorrhoids?
I didn't see the question.
I don't, but what would it's a medical, why would it imply that I have hemorrhoids? Because of the smiling?
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Is that what it is? Or is it the moving around? I'm trying to stay active. John
says by the time she says she found her soulmate is released, she will be a single mother of 3.
Right.
Johnny is home for a while and says he's working on it.
Yeah. I was working on a little bit yesterday.
Johnny, Into the Mystic is here. Her name is Christy. She says you are the best. I don't know what happened to me before you were here. I was the best. But Johnny, it's Christy's birthday. Did you know that?
I did not know that. What are we doing?
Are you going to wish her a happy birthday or no?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I thought there was a cake coming or something. I'm still trying to wean off of sweets.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. How do you do that nowadays to adults? Usually you throw a party, everyone wears a hat, pintail on a donkey.
JB is one of my favorite viewers. JB would like to know what model of RG is Johnny's Ibanez.
Model? That is the Ibanez RG550.
So that is the Johnny Monaco model if you want to go out.
That's not my model. I don't have a guitar. You know who does have a guitar is Nina Strauss.
Yeah, it's amazing, huh? It's funny how that happens. Yeah.
I got to practice more. I got to practice more for longer hours and wear some different outfits that I need to think about.
I will tell you a few interesting highlights. I can't remember where they happened, but they did happen. Someone commented that they would super chat if we had a show with Virginia Monaco, which is Johnny's mom. They really enjoyed when she was on. She has been on the show from the haircut episode, and Johnny's mom is great, and she's got a great sense of humor. And I find it interesting too because she does understand Johnny for the most part. She doesn't. She's not fazed that Johnny drives around with a mannequin or any of those type of things. But your mom, Johnny, you guys were having a phone conversation. We were in Chicago, and Johnny called his mom. Chicago, Johnny's hometown. The airport, though, we were at Midway. Is that right?
Yeah. That's the terrible one. That's anything on the south side. That gives you the barometer right there.
It was terrible, but you and your mom had a nice discussion about old times.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to hear. Johnny talks to his mother much like he talks to the audience. It was an interesting conversation. Maybe your mom will come on the show again.
Yeah, she's recovering from surgery right now. She had something going on, but it was successful. They had to reestablish the blood flow to her legs and feet, and it's like a little bit of a bypass. But she's doing all right. She's healing up, and she called me soft in that conversation. So I'm trying to toughen up and smile more.
She called you soft, but she meant it in a nice way.
Yeah,
she said that they always knew that you were the soft one. Your sister is the tough one. She's a bull in a china shop.
Well, but my softness, if she's referring to my hands, well, that's what you get when you avoid manual labor your entire life. But I've found other ways to not, I want these soft. I like it when I'll shake someone's hand or I'll touch somebody or they'll be like, oh, your hands are so soft. They say it like that.
Yeah.
They don't know I go to sleep with gloves on with hand softening lotion in them. So I always want these to feel soft because I want to feel better than everyone. Like he never had to work. This guy never had to grab a hoe. Never had to grab a shovel, put it into the cement and dig a hole or lay some asphalt, and never had to really get in there, dig up those weeds. But they would be wrong because I've done tons of that stuff. I mean, I didn't get up at 7 a.m. and do it on the highway because I had to, getting out of my jail term. But I've done it in my own house. Done a lot of gardening. I've done some cement mixing. It didn't go well, but I did it. And manual labor is just not for me. I can tell you. It's not anything.
Yeah, I understand. But it has led you to having incredibly soft hands. That airport in Chicago was terrible. The food is terrible. Johnny and I got a pizza. It was my idea. Johnny did not want to get it.
That pizza was the worst pizza I've ever had.
It tasted like the bottom of the pizza was made with butane.
It tasted like chemicals. It was like we were eating chemicals, eating airplane fuel served by what appeared to be a lunatic with a neck tattoo.
Yes, and it was absolutely terrible. What's the name of that place? Home Run Pizza?
Home Run Pizza. It should
terrible.
not be called Home Run. It should be called Strikeout Pizza.
It was really the worst thing I've ever tasted. Right next to it was a Vienna beef Chicago hot dog stand.
Why would that be open?
It's been closed for the last 30 times. It's all set up and ready, but the gate is always closed. You would think in Chicago you'd like to have a good deep dish pizza, not that home run shit, or you'd like to have a Chicago hot dog. And but no, that's not. That would make too much sense, if you will. So we've been on this whirlwind affair of the tour, whatever you want to call it, and right after we got off the plane was delayed. We got off the plane at 5:30. I asked Johnny if he would like to go with me that evening to see Winger, and it was Lita Ford and Winger. And I've been having conversations with Kip Winger. I had worked with the band Winger for a little while. I directed some music videos for them, and it was nice to come out to the show. So we went to our respective homes, changed our respective clothes, and Johnny picked me up, and we headed out to the Hotel International, which is the room that Elvis made famous. Played almost 800 sold-out shows there. It's now called the Westgate.
That's crazy.
It was the Hilton before that. But all those great videos. And when Johnny and I entered the room, all we could think about is those spots where the girls would line up and each one of them would get a kiss on the mouth. You couldn't do that these days. Or he'd wipe the scarf. So Lita Ford went on first. And Bobby Rock was on drums. He was very good. And she had a bass player named Martin Anderson. He was in Lizzie Borden. We knew that because she said his name 71 times.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name after we left. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, we met him afterwards briefly.
We did.
Nice guy. And then Winger. Winger is always great. I will tell you that there was Winger. The original lineup is Paul Taylor, keyboards, rhythm guitar, Rod Morgenstein, drums, one of the best drummers there is, Reb Beach, one of the best guitar players there are, and Kip Winger, who's great at everything he does as well. And then they added a guy named John Roth on their third record. But John Roth also plays in the band Starship, and he's going to be busy out on the road this year. I believe Starship is touring as always. So I thought maybe Johnny Monaco would be a good addition to Winger. And I told Johnny, why don't you come and check it out? Winger needs somebody who sings very high and can shred. And I will tell you that the band Winger share a lot of the parts. Reb Beach is not intimidated. He lets the other guitar players play. That's what they do. It's not like we all know Reb is great, but he likes he likes other musicians. He likes other guitar players, and so they share a lot of the parts.
Sorry.
Yeah,
tethered here. I'm listening.
So we watched the Winger set. It's a great set. They play a lot of the deep cuts, Time to Surrender, Rainbow in the Rose, the Winger band. You know these things.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of those songs.
Johnny didn't know a lot of the songs. And Johnny, as you were watching it, I think you were also thinking, this is not the kind of gig you can learn. The Rat songs, Johnny was able to learn in 16 hours. At Winger set, maybe not.
Yeah, those are very involved. I mean, other than the ones everyone knows, there's a lot of parts towards the ends, and they get into almost like a prog kind of odd time and little runs and stuff. You know, it seemed, I didn't realize it was so involved. It would take a while to do that.
And I think a lot of people who only knew the singles didn't realize how much there was to Winger. Kip Winger will be here to promote the new album Winger 7 very soon, and so I'm looking forward to that. But we had a good time, and Johnny and I kind of decided that night to be men of the people. We were out and about and shaking hands, taking pictures, kissing babies. You know, Johnny has a career of his own that people recognize him as fans of his music, and they like to come over and say hello. They're very kind. And in my case, people enjoy these interviews or dick jokes, one or the other. And so we mingled and we stayed late, Johnny. We met with all the people, and after the show, we hung out with Paul Taylor from Ringer, who's
jeez. You know, this is really starting to piss me off. Oh, it's because this cable is short.
Well, you don't want to say short.
I'm listening. Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Paul Taylor.
Yeah, Paul Taylor, we hung out with him and we had a nice time. And let's see. Look what the pack dragged and says that they enjoy the window seat. Johnny enjoys the window seat. I do not. Yeah.
There's some stuff I think we missed before we got to the concert. There was some in between. There are some other things, right?
Well, remind me.
I don't know, but there probably were.
We got delayed on that flight. I know that. And we sat on that damn flight. It's a 45-minute flight. When it's delayed, it was no fun. As I said earlier, Johnny and I would be air marshals if some idiot started mouthing off the way this guy was. And the things that guy was saying, what he was going to do, there was no time to sit there and let him go on. You got to put an end to it. And Johnny and I, we've seen these flight attendants on Southwest. They are not going to hold anybody down or basically they need to pass the zip ties to us. I would have been assembling a team, Johnny. If I heard that guy mouth off, I would have looked around.
Yeah, right.
Biggest people on the plane.
Right.
Where are the Harlem Globetrotters? Where's the UFC fighter who's coming to Vegas?
Yeah.
And I would say, we got to spring into action. By we, I would mean they. And then I would just kick the guy when he was down. But Johnny and I, and now I would tell you, every flight, Johnny, anyone opens their mouth, I think we just have to take care of it. We can't allow this to happen.
Yeah,
not on our watch.
I mean, they got him. They tried. The kid was a kid. It wasn't like some, he's like kind of. He looked like what's his name, Cat Stevens.
Yeah, or Yusuf Salam. But yeah, he looked like. He was. It's ridiculous.
He wasn't like a tough, crazy tough guy or anything.
This guy Stephen Michaels here. He says, "Have you ever taken a Greyhound? It's like a rolling prison on wheels. Made me forget that I'm afraid to fly." Carrot Top has a joke about how he was on a Greyhound bus and he called up the FBI's most wanted list and he said, I found them, all of them. And it is true. It's true. It's scary.
That's funny.
Skyler's saying hello to all of us. Johnny, do you have any pets? Good question.
No, I don't. It's extra $25.
Johnny, have you ever had a pet in your life growing up?
Yes, I have.
What did you have?
We had a Sheltie collie.
What was the dog's name?
Misty
the Sheltie collie.
That's right.
All right. And, Johnny's allergic to cats. I will point that out. Johnny loves animals, and animals love Johnny. Animals and small children. Johnny's the opposite of W.
Now here comes the high school jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said it again. Jeez, what is going on? I'm watching too much Darcy and Stacy. I don't think I've had any other animals. I know my sister had a dog right when she started her family. They got a dog named Keela. And it was also a toy Sheltie. So for some reason, our family liked the toy Sheltie collies.
Brandon Paul is here, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But Brandon Paul is a guitar player that Johnny exposed me to, if you will. And when we were at the Man on the Mountain Festival, whatever it was called, this Man on the Silver Mountain. Yeah. And Brandon Paul, he's on Instagram. And he has like 20 billion followers.
A lot of fans. He's very likable, just like Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so
he gives lessons online. You can go on there and get a couple quick tips, and if you like what you see, you can sign up for his Patreon, or you can sign up to take personal private lessons. So all you guitar players, go check him out online. What is it exactly? Is it just Brandon Paul Official?
Johnny,
And
Mickey says that maybe if you're lucky, Johnny will send you laxatives for your birthday. Have you ever sent someone laxatives for their birthday?
that's to her, yeah. We were talking about it, and it's good to start with a clean slate, get it all out.
Mm.
After my colonoscopy, I thought I was going to never, I'll eat clean from now on. But then, like 2 months into it, you're eating hamburgers, and next thing you know, you're all backed up. Sometimes you got to clean it out.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that, Johnny. I got a mystery box in the mail. This thing is called Cologuard.
Oh,
and,
yeah. With the little guy, the poo that talks.
Yeah, the talking
Hey,
poo.
everybody.
And so all I can think is this is an awfully big box. Do you have to fill the whole thing?
I've never taken one of those, but you got to put the poop in there.
Yeah. So you it's an exact science.
Oh, wait a minute. How do you get it out? How does it go from the butt to the? Is it a tube or is it a box?
Well, let's look.
I thought you were starting. So you put it like while you're going, or do you like go in there and get it, or I would snap it in midair and get a fresh one.
I mean, I didn't read the instructions. I mean, if anyone watching has already done this, it looks like a little toilet.
Do you think the people at the lab are like, why do they keep sending so much? We need a sample.
Yeah, I think some people are trying to fill the damn thing.
Big sidewinder.
Look at this thing.
I can't see. What? Oh, you sit on it. Okay, I get it now. So you sit on that?
Maybe you put it onto your bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. There's different things that you add. In my life, I've really passed off things, but this is not the kind of thing that I can have Michelle help me with. You know what I mean? Or you, unless you want to.
That's why I draw the line.
But you essentially, and listen, I'm trying to add education through health. If you're at a certain age and you have not had a colonoscopy, Johnny has had one.
Yeah, but I have to have another one, just because they recommend them like every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I'm a little younger than Johnny, but I am pretty much due because of my diabetes. My doctors they just keep checking me like a race car, and they decided that it would be nice if I shit in a box, and so I have that box.
There's a lot of ass play involved, but the worst part is the prep. The rest of it's not a big deal. I just don't like getting up early for anything, let alone that.
Yeah, and that is a tough one. It is good to be aware of our health, though, and be preventative. Why not?
Somebody's people are saying that
Say it again, John.
Someone's saying it won't cover your insurance if you go for a colonoscopy after you've had this.
After you shit in the box, they won't give you the other one?
I don't know about all that. No, I just know that this, maybe can tell superficially, but until they get in there, there's polyps and there's all kinds of things that can be removed that this test won't show. So it's good to get. It's kind of like, the first step to just testing the waters. But otherwise, you got to make an appointment and go in.
Yeah, this is a good start. And if there's any indications, I'm a little worried of all that corn that we ate on the pizza in the airport. You don't want to get a false. You don't want to get a false negative.
I would say before you do this, take like a laxative and clean out the jets.
If that's allowed. I mean, who the hell knows? I got to read the prep book. Do you think there's idiots out there who, conspiracy theories, if you will, that are fearful of this box, that they think that maybe this is the government's way of controlling us, that if you give them a bowel movement in a box, they will then
clone
you or
now that I wasn't thinking like that, but now that you brought it up.
Yeah. Indie Cult would like to know if we've jammed yet. We have not. But listen, it could happen at any at any moment. I think people would love to see it. I've seen the caliber of musician that Johnny sometimes plays with, not Stephen Pearcy, and here in Vegas though, and goose eggs. Let's see here.
I think I might take another laxative tonight.
You got a box too? You got to fill?
No, I just have a toilet.
Tim D would like to know when I'm going to get up and play bass again. The other day I picked up the bass because I had an idea in my head or something and wanted to see if I remembered it. And then that was the extent of that. As I've said, tragically, Scotty Griffin, who performed with me in the Cincy Rejects, tragically, he has moved to Florida.
Do you think I should move to Florida?
I know that you've been thinking about it.
Well, everyone says no, but why do they go?
Listen, if I lived, Scotty Griffin lives in the Orlando area. If I lived there, I would go to Disney World every day. I would be that idiot.
Don't you want to? So Orlando's in the middle, kind of. So you're not like near the water. But I mean, if you're going to go to Florida, don't you want to sort of be like? Is Walt Disney near the water?
Well, there's alligators, so there's lakes and
like the ocean. You're not going to go swimming.
No, I don't think the ocean is that close to Disney. No.
Right. So what about? I think like South Beach, like down there. That's where all the bitches are, right? Oh wait, sorry, it's National Women's Day. That's where all those hoes.
Chris makes a question: is there anything worse than ranch dressing pizza? John and I were hungry in one of these cities we were in. Don't remember where. And we ordered a barbecue chicken pizza, and it was coated in ranch dressing. We sat in the lobby and we
I had one piece. It sucked.
We watched. It was really bad. That was Coho's, New York.
You know what they should call that pizza? Murica.
People would like to know what are the bands I managed. There's a lot, but I did manage an artist named Nita Strauss once. Isn't that crazy? And then, of course, the Sin City Sinners, the band that I created. After we went to we jump around on this show, as you know. There's still 200 people watching. After our big night at the Winger concert at the Hotel International, we were looking for a late night spot to have a fight. We might be looking for one tonight.
Esthetician.
Huh?
Esthetician.
Anyway, I feel like
Esthetician.
This thing in my head is getting me. I knew I was losing my mind. We went to a place called the Pepper Mill.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, we had a really great late night meal. And we were joined by Brent Fitz.
Oh, yeah.
Brent Fitz has been the drummer for Alice Cooper, Vince Neil, most recently Slash. He was also in a band called Theory of a Dead Man. And he was also the first drummer to ever play with the Sin City Sinners. But him and his, I believe that's his wife.
I don't know. You know more than I do. She was very nice. I talked to her for like 20 minutes or something.
Yes. You exchanged pleasantries, and it was nice catching up with them. I can't tell you all the things that he said because, some things are meant to be quiet. Let's see. I'm trying to get to some of your questions, and then there's a lot of Orianthe, Tracy Guns. I don't find it that interesting.
Who cares?
Yeah, we can make the same corny jokes. We're going to bet everything that Tracy Guns will be in Orianthe's band any day.
You think so?
Yeah, and
don't they have a tour? Aren't they on a tour right now or doing?
It's coming.
They're not going to be in a band together. You're crazy.
Brandon Paul Johnny would like his Mel Bay books back if you could.
Yeah, I know. I was teasing him about, sometimes I don't think I always play my best. Yeah, but I'm working on that. So
there's like a lot of like Blotzer kind of talk going on.
Who cares about that?
And it's really stupid.
Esthetician.
And I don't even really.
That picture's funny that you took. That's from Coho's, New York.
Yes.
That's funny.
That's where they had the haunted. It's an old haunted theater.
Oh, yeah.
Theater. We had a great time. The Coho's Music Hall. It's the fourth oldest music hall.
That's pretty cool.
and they have a shrine to this woman there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember that broad's name.
Yeah. Sandra Bernhardt played there.
Oh yes, that's right. It might have been Ava. I think her name was Ava, not Braun. Anyway, but Johnny gave her a pick, and I signed the
National
wall.
Women's Month.
Oh, it is National Women's Month. That's
Yeah,
right.
take it easy with those hoes. I mean, co-hoes.
Now, normally I would never throw someone under the bus like this, but Scarlett wants to know, Johnny, do you ever get her DMs, or are you just ignoring her messages?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did get them. I was supposed to respond. I don't really go on like a lot of those kind of shows, like other people's podcasts. I
didn't
don't
even
have
know what it was.
anything to talk about really, and I just feel stupid on those. She has a nice podcast. It's like, I think they're about makeup and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't answer questions well, and it's like it just gets all weird and stupid, So I really try not to go on. I try not to go on interview shows that much, just because, I don't say.
I
Very
people
opinionated.
Yeah, people ask me to appear on their podcast. I think it's very nice. I'm glad that anyone cares about me. I think sometimes people would like to boost their own numbers by having the king of shows to talk about Trickster and Dokken. But I talk so much on this show that I don't know what I would say on someone else's show. If I find one that I really like, maybe one day I will do it and talk about me. But for now, you can talk to Johnny and I on here every week for great lengths. And so yeah, I'm not really going,
Yeah,
okay.
I've done a couple of them and I watched them back and I'm like, ugh. It's just like my guitar solos. Oh, her name was Eva Tanguay.
Right.
Tanguay. Tanguay.
She was a showgirl.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asking if Sally Steele puts her band back together, will I manage them? I know. We saw Sally Steele. She was very angry. She had a lot going on, and she did. What did she say to you, Johnny?
She's like, oh, there's the guy that always what did she say? There's the guy that avoids me.
Yeah, you avoid her.
And I said, how am I avoiding her? I don't even know what she's talking about. And then when she left, she said, see you later, rock star.
Yeah.
I can't with these women. I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything. I think she asked me, I respond to people, but I don't want to go to people's shows because I'm not interested in that. And
somebody here says, what were you going to say, Johnny?
No, I'm going to say I have to just pick and choose stuff because my surgeon friend from Chicago called me and was telling me how great he thought all my Twitter posts were, or LinkedIn. And then he was like, how old are you, John? You smoke? How's your health? And so he did my death clock for me.
Right.
We're running out of time.
Yes, we did learn that.
Could be dead soon. Someone in my building died in their sleep. I thought there was some kind of fight going on. So I found out he had a heart attack and died in his sleep. And they were here because they had to break down the door to get his body out. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to die here. This, I don't like it here. I want to die somewhere nice, like
the Glenmark.
Right. Some like a postmodern vibe.
Johnny, will you and Donny play or record together? Indie Cult would like to know, and he made a super chat, and so I think he deserves an answer.
Yeah, I mean, I would play with Donny whenever he wants. I told him I would. We were supposed to maybe do something coming up, but the dates didn't work out because I'm going to be out of town. Something else happened, so. But we're trying to make that happen. So, if you know anybody.
They are, yeah. Johnny and Donny have been talking, and that's a great thing. And I think eventually something comes out of it. I think Donny has to stay focused. He's a talented guy, but he's kind of always been here and there, kind of like Chris Angel. 1 second he's here, 1 second he's there, and
they were booing him.
There was some boos. There was a little smattering of boos, but there was some applause as well. He introduced Winger.
You know who wasn't applauding?
You.
The people that believe that he can't float over the Luxor.
It's very, very hot in that light on top of the Luxor.
Yeah. No, those Donny V songs are great. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch I wrote them all out when I thought we were going to do this in the first place. I put all this time into it and then we didn't do it. There's like all these weird slide parts and harmonies and string parts. And I bought this pedal that sounds like an orchestra and you never did it. So I don't know if I remember any of it, but check out that album. It's really good.
Which album?
It's called Beautiful Things. And then the one before it's called the White Album. It's 2 albums. Those are both great. I mean, you would think, pretentious calling it the White Album and having 2, but it's really good. Yeah. I wrote all these songs out. I'm looking at them right now. I'm looking at trying to remember what I did. Oh yeah, I remember these songs now. They're really, really good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that could happen in the future. There could be a thing. Let me recap who's coming on the show because I forget that a lot. Ricky Rackman, as I said, interviewed him today. That's coming soon. Steve Riley of Riley's LA Guns. Jason Byler of Saigon Kick, Wednesday 13. Also, we're discussing a very famous singer who is in a band that he is not the singer in his own band. I can't say which band or who's coming on the show. I will ask the question that people want to know. Could he form a band with Chris DeGarmo and Scott Rockenfield? But I cannot tell you the band I'm speaking about or who the person is that was guessed. But that interview is supposed to be coming very soon. I promise you it'll be a better interview than any of these other schmucks do. And then next Wednesday live, Rudy Sarzo will be here. I'm excited to talk to Rudy. He's a very nice guy, and he looks great for his age. He's 104 years old. No, but the guy's in great shape and has so much energy. So fine. I promoted the book Keep On Rolling, My Fan Club Years with Kevin DeBro and Quiet Riot. Missy Whitney, who wrote the book, she was the fan club president. She'll be here. Mark Weiss will be here. Ron Sobel will be here. Great photographers. There are just so many great photos in this book. You can order it now. Anyway, they'll be here. And that's just saying that. And they'll be here next Wednesday. New tour diary with live bears is coming out very soon. Like I said, I had to fix a little copyright issue, and people are excited to see Rudy. I will try to make my Rudy interview better than the other interviews he's done as well. I try to give you guys what you want. No bullshit. Okay, let's see here. Looking forward to the new things. And I follow that guy on Instagram, Got an Interesting Life, the singer who cannot be named. Okay. Well, I don't like to say it because sometimes we get real close. Blackie Lawless was one. And then they don't show up. Or it falls through, or someone artificially represented them. In this case, it sounds like it's going to happen. I am a fan of this person, and I think they have a story that has not been properly told. Johnny, do you answer your DMs on Instagram? Huh?
Yeah. Who is it? Who is that?
That would be Scarlett.
Oh yeah, no, I saw those. I mean, I like I said, I don't really do interviews like that. It's not that I think I'm a big deal or anything. I just, I don't know, it's just not very interesting. And I mean, I don't know. I don't really.
You're stressed to being interviewed. You want to be funny or entertaining and not say the same thing you've said a million times.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, right?
It is work that goes into it. People think, oh, you just sit there and answer questions. Also, the interviewer, I'm not saying that this is a bad interviewer, but sometimes the interviewer is a problem too. If they don't get to a point or they just ask questions that are random, then at the end you go, I didn't really represent myself.
Yeah, and I've done a couple of those.
I've seen
on here it's different because we just talk and, we could talk about things, report on what we did or comment, bring joy to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, but the other thing is more like, I don't know if I'm that interesting to like just interview like that, it would just sound crazy if they just let me talk for an hour.
Well, as long as you smile.
That's what I'm finding is fixes everything. You know, do that. Smile at them and go. And at the end, when you don't know the person and you leave the elevator, tell them, I hope you have a great day. That's so weird when people tell me that. I just never understand, like, do they care that much? I mean, there's no way.
Are you just phony and nice back?
Me?
Yeah.
I just go, uh-huh. I mean, I don't want to wish them back the same because I don't care if what they do in their day. 15 feet.
When we get on a plane, they say, have a great flight. I tell them you too, even though they're not getting on the plane.
Yeah, but it's just so fake. So you're telling me that person cares about every single person they meet in the course of a day? Because if that's true, something wrong with me. Hold on. Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no, but that's why people want to talk to you, because you smile and you bring good to the world.
Yeah, like Jeremiah, the bullfrog, which I sang in 8th grade, by the way.
Dave, I would like to see the video.
Dave
Paul says, "Do Golden Robot Records still sponsored?"
I thought you said he was coming to the show the other night.
He didn't show up. Mark Alexander Erber is the president. We do need to do the final. It's a lot like Johnny's record, the final episode. It's taking time. I don't want to just crown someone with such a massive award without taking the time. And it's coming. You're going to see it right here. The winner of the Golden Robot Records contest. The channel is so much bigger now than it was when we began that contest 7 or 8 years ago.
Some of these people say the stupidest things, Like you could tell, I can't tell if they're trying to be funny or if they're just like, kind of, they think they're funny, they're mean,
I agree. Sometimes I can't tell if it's real or if it's an attempt at humor. Yeah. Just reading a comment is a hard way to judge humor.
Yeah, sometimes they don't translate.
Yeah. Or they're also talking about something we said a long time ago.
Right.
And we've already moved on and don't remember what the hell that they're saying.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the way I look right now. Do you have any interest in chips? Hello, funny black girl. I don't get that. Oh yeah, Florida. I don't know. It's probably too hot.
I will tell you that we're taking a little time off, and then we're going to be heading out to Austin, Texas.
Oh yeah.
And then somewhere else, and then there's a lot more shows this year. I think that this is very dangerous, but I'm going to attempt this. Johnny, let me do the talking. This is the marry, F, get rid of game, just in case anyone's mad about monetization.
Oh, boy.
I think that Diane Franklin is way too obscure. Johnny doesn't know what she looks like, and I don't hardly remember what she looks like.
I'll look her up right now.
He's trying to remind me. Diane Franklin, I just saw her at a convention that I went to.
Okay.
She was in the movie Better Off Dead, which kind of sounds fitting.
Jennifer
Connelly is one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Really?
In my humble opinion. And in Molly Ringwald. This is an easy one.
She looks like her.
These are both older broads now. Johnny, I got to be careful because every time I say
National Women's Day.
Yes.
Can you mellow out with that?
Yeah, old broads get mad. But these are all women who are at least, hi Bitsy, in their 50s.
Okay.
So I'm getting rid of Diane Franklin. She's not famous enough. She's
Me too.
She's got to go. It's not for me.
Me too.
Now, I like Molly Ringwald. I think I would like to stoop Molly Ringwald at least once. Yeah, at least once. So that's the answer. Jennifer Connelly is incredibly sexy, and that is who I would marry. Jennifer Connelly was in a movie called Requiem for a Dream, and she shows a bush that would knock your Aunt Connie's socks off. And she is hot. Jennifer Connelly. She was in a movie called The Hot Spot with Don Johnson. Google it and look at these. Look at her bosom. She has an ample
Oh,
an ample, beautiful bosom. It's the kind of bosom that you would just put your face between, or lay your head,
mm,
play telephone. Hello, who is it? There's just so many things that Jennifer Connelly offers, and
okay. Good.
she's in that Marvel universe or whatever. It would have been better if the Bitsy, please, I'm broadcasting. It would have been better if instead of Diane Franklin, they had Diane Lane, who was also a really hot broad, old broad. Johnny, do you feel differently on these three?
No, I think that's about right.
Yeah. All right.
Fire beef.
As someone's asking if Michelle is still watching. Michelle is not opposed to me grading the finer sexes. She would as well. I will. I don't know if I can say it here, but Michelle also believes that Diane Lane is very beautiful. Let's see. What else? Everyone's so excited. A lot of people are into Molly Ringwald. Make sure you haven't seen her lately, though.
Oh, well.
I'm still hitting it. I don't care.
Oh.
Yeah,
Geez.
I'm still hitting it.
Okay.
Yeah, is that maybe that's wrong? Oh, Career Opportunity. That's a good movie with Jennifer Connelly as well. I don't know what this means. Tim D. You're old when you like the B-U-A-H.
I think he's trying to say Bush.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm just making a point.
I was watching this thing about Mormons yesterday. It's a new show. Or Mormons?
Yeah, I spent my night with a Mormon last night.
Mennonites? Whatever.
Oh.
They don't shave down there.
Yeah. Well, they also wear magic underwear. But
wait, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. No, I'm thinking of something else. Hold on. Mormons. Not Amish.
Amish, yes. No, they're not shaving down there either. I spent my night with a. Looks like Johnny forgot to pay the power bill.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, there you go. We lost you for a second, Johnny.
Mike Zuder called me.
Oh my God, really? Does he want you to bang his wife again?
I don't know what he wants.
Is your number being served?
I just pressed. I'll call him back.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But I was going to say that I spent my night with a Mormon last night. Michelle and I went to see Donny Osmond, right?
Yeah.
Could there be a more famous Mormon than Donny Osmond and his family? It was a fantastic show. I recommend it if you were ever in Las Vegas. The show is at Harrah's. I'm not getting paid to say this, but it was great. And there was a bunch of old broads going to see him. And I told Michelle, we could probably find somebody who will give us tickets cheap. And we sat in the 6th row. This old broad had she had to get rid of some tickets, and I said, "Well, I don't know how much money I have." And then Michelle didn't realize how you deal with scalpers like I did, and offered some more, which I kicked her in honor of Women's Month, and and we went to see for the price of $120. We sat in the 6th row. We had an amazing time. He played songs from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, speaking of magic underwear, and he played songs from Mulan. Bitsy, why don't you shut up? Sorry. And we played, and then Osmond songs. He takes requests. What a fun show. What a great guy. Somebody says Michael Zuder is an excellent guitar player. He's an even better cuck, if you know what that means. Let's see here. Oh, Michael Perez, thank you so much for the Bitsy Kibble Fund. Much appreciated. Bitsy is waiting for her dinner. I can tell you that much. Justine Bateman. Justine Bateman was hot too. If you would put it in with 2 others, I could evaluate it better. Yeah, Martha, who's calling herself an old broad, but she is not. This old broad will definitely be going to see Donnie. Martha, you just missed it by one day. If you would have stayed a little longer, we could have all saw Donnie. Oh, here's Michelle. She's watching. It was so fun. Donnie still sounds amazing. Michelle, I told you not to text and drive. Come on. She's commenting, but she's on a long, dangerous drive through snow and through sleet. I almost went with her, but I didn't want to wake up so early and had things to do. But anyway, she'll be back soon. She should be knocking on the door any minute. Martha saying hello to Michelle. How long have we been here, Johnny? An hour and 35 minutes. I was about to say, let's get the hell out of here, but here's a super sticker. RK, $3 super sticker. Thank you so much. What a great audience. Jeffrey Smith, $10. Thank you. Johnny, have you eaten? Have you taken that bland ass chicken and that minute rice out already?
No, because I had a late lunch and I thought I wasn't going to eat dinner.
Well, we might have to change that, Johnny. Maybe we should go somewhere and dine. Michelle will be here soon. Okay, and boy, Johnny, do you feel like you're losing your mind, or is it just me? I feel like I'm turning into Bruce Willis.
Why? What's going on now?
Well, I forget things. I don't know where I am. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's some stuff we left out, but I mean, nothing's going to be perfect. I mean, if we wrote these out and went over it and made those like points of, that's one way to cover everything, and then you talk about each topic. We could do that, but I mean, how much do they really need to know? I mean,
we talk about so much. Yeah, we talk about so much of our daily lives, and the show wasn't built on us traveling. It just kind of happened, and we try to share the entertaining stuff, and the people that we tour with are nice people, and it's it's not all that. It's not always crazy. Eric's not always allegedly peeing the bed. Sometimes he is. If he was, he would not wear a mask while he did it. I'll tell you that much. And then Matt Thorne, he was there from Rough Cut, and he's a nice guy, great bass player. And Coogan was there. Stephen and Christy, we told you about. And Michelle came out. And let's see here. Oh, Tris saying hello. We met Tris. Great seeing you guys. Aiden, my son, and I had a blast. Stellar smoking. I believe we ran into Tris at the Winger show, though. I think. Maybe not. No, maybe it was the Montclair.
No, he makes practice amps.
Tris, thank you so much. Johnny's he gave us a super chat. It's appreciated. What does he tell us? What he makes, Johnny?
He makes amps, and his son's building them now.
Wow.
And he's focusing, I believe, on these like little practice amps that you would bring on tour with you, and then you could set up backstage and warm up, which is something I would love to do. But in our situation, as you know, I can't even bring something that big. I have hard enough time bringing up what I got. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, if we do go on a tour, or we're going to be somewhere where I could have more stuff, I would definitely bring something like that.
Yeah.
So you could check out his page.
Yeah. Would you know the name of the company?
Mm-hmm. I have it right here.
And Johnny will get the information. We are talking. Stephen is looking to do a road tour. He's looking to do the 80 Sunset Strip experience.
Mm-hmm.
He's with 2 other bands from that time. And if that happens and we hit the road in that fashion, Johnny will be able to bring along one of these practice amps. And maybe Eric would like one as well. There it is. Why don't you read it to us?
The company is his last name.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
pronounced. I might be pronouncing it wrong.
I think it's pronounced Vami.
Mahaffey amps.
Mahaffey amps. Okay.
Mahaffey amps. And then this is the band. His band Striker.
Nice. All right. You don't always experience P-gate either. True. It's not the most common thing to happen. We do think Eric was innocent. People are now questioning him everywhere he goes, but let's see here. Oh, yeah. Jeffrey is saying that he was saying that we didn't have to. These people are saying we didn't have to plug anything, but it's nice of them to support the channel. And
yeah, no, this guy's cool. We talked for a little bit. He's into what he does, and he's friends with Warren DeMartini.
Nice. JB. I will tell you, I messaged Warren last night to come on the show. I don't expect an answer, but JB says we can talk about Eric peeing the bed, but are we allowed to know why Jerry is no longer playing bass? If it is sensitive, then just skip it. But it seems like something happened because you guys were kind of hush. Well, I will tell you.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'll start. I'll tell you that members change in bands all the time. Sometimes it's chemistry, sometimes it's other offers. Uh, the lineup has changed since I've begun in this band many times. I first went out in 2021, and there was a different drummer, and there was a different guitar player, and things have changed. So I think the only reason that people maybe are wondering what happened to Jerry is because he was in so many of the tour diaries. But as far as why he's not playing, it has nothing to do with me or Johnny, and truthfully, not that interesting. I think he's probably going to be making music of his own with bands that I think he was more of a fan of the genre. Jerry liked heavier bands. He was in Danzig and Hell Yeah and things like that. So anyway, it's really not that interesting. It's kind of what they call, speaking about dinner, a nothing burger. Someone mentions Frank Wilsey and Chris Hager. Frank Wilsey, who says he will be on the show, we're going to talk about Sea Hags. He's going to do it. He made more money, traveling in Aerosmith, which is his brand. It's an Aerosmith cover band, but they do tons of cruises, and it was easier for him to do that. Chris came in only sort of as a temporary fill-in in between. And when Johnny came in, things gelled, if you will, and everybody loves Johnny. How could you not? And so that's sort of why that's that. But anyway, none of this. Believe me, if it was controversial or interesting, it would be the first thing we talk about. Hold on. Johnny, you remember late 80s, early 90s bands like Joker, Radica, and Ginger Lynn Paradox? Any of this mean anything to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Of course. We think I had a lobotomy. Can I not remember all that? Are you asking me?
He's asking if you remember. I guess that's the whole.
Yeah. Of course. Joker.
This is Jakey Lee asking.
Yeah. These were bands that were big in our hometown in the 80s that would play the Thirsty Whale. And we actually, enough's enough. I was there. I played too, but really them. Played the last weekend of that club. And I believe the last day when they shut it down, they tore it down. They put up a McDonald's. It's right next to Gene and Jude's, the hot dog place I was telling you about. Mm-hmm. But, all those guys like the Dobbs brothers, John Dobbs and Glenn. That band's called Radica. The Joker was another, back then it was everyone played original music. So they weren't playing covers or anything, it was all their own stuff. And like 80s rock, like what we would have turned into. That's what all those bands sounded like. Paradox is another form of Radica. And they were brothers and, heavy metal, heavy rock bands. Enough's Enough was definitely in there. They would all all those bands would draw. It was a different time, like actually our bass player now, who you just mentioned, was from Rough Cut, who was a big band at the time in that era. And a lot of the bands, even in the Midwest, I think listened to Rough Cut and Icon, this other band called Icon. They kind of had similar sounds, like a heavy guitar, a lot of chorus, delay, almost like Ozzy sounding, and then it got a little heavier and a bunch of those bands, but nobody would really get that outside of Chicago. DeMalls was another band, but DeMalls. And Diamond Rex was another band. But these, again, are all Chicago bands from that era, from that time period that I think now still, some of them are still playing shows,
Yeah. All right. Vinny Rogers asks me what my favorite bass amp is. I think that people who care about bass amps could be silly sometimes. I don't mean Vinny for asking the question, but I mean, you plug the bass in, it goes boom, and then that's that. So, I mean, I think if you're going to play live, you use an Ampeg SVT 8x10. That's what everybody uses. That's
Yeah.
they've got it right. Why fix it? And the same thing with the Fender P bass with 4 strings. Those kind of things that's bass playing. All your favorites played like that. Because I don't play stadiums, I use a thing called the Fender Rumble. It's a lighter weight bass, but it makes a lot of noise, sounds good, and I can carry the damn thing up and down the stairs. And then when you play most places, there is backline. So most of the time I played through an Ampeg. I've had some other bass amps I don't like. I don't like too many dials. I don't think it's necessary, but I am not Billy Sheehan. I do not believe in Xenu. Let's see. And then we'll get the hell out of here. The question is, have I interviewed Alex Kane? It's funny, Johnny mentioned him and said that I should set that up, and it sounded interesting. We did see someone in the airport Johnny thought might have been Alex Kane. It was an old lady. But anyway, Alex Kane might be good on the show. Yes, I got to feed my cat. We get it. How about some podcast merch T-shirts? Rooster69. That is a good question. I've been thinking about it. When I started this show, people said I should make coffee mugs and those kind of things. I said, what kind of idiot would want that? And then more and more people told me they would like it. Well, I'm working on a book. I've been working on this for a while, which means Michelle is really doing a lot of the work. And it's going to be about how this show came about and all the stuff that happened with the guests off the air, because that's where the really crazy stuff has happened. And what goes into getting these people, what went into making this channel successful. And I'm hoping to put that out around Christmas because that's the time for gift giving. And then who knows, you guys, if you really think that you would drink out of my coffee mug or you would want T-shirts and those kind of things, we can talk about it. And if you want Johnny Monaco merch, you go to johnnymonaco.com. He has everything for your shopping needs. I know, Bitsy, it's almost time. And yeah, I appreciate all the super chats tonight. Appreciate all the conversation. You know, people get mad, Johnny, when we don't come on here. They get angry.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, last time they were making fun of me.
You did have a hard show that day. But for some reason,
I don't really care though. They're idiots.
People were creating fake names, and they found it humorous.
Yeah.
They weren't funny though. I like a good insult when it's funny. They weren't funny.
No, they're not funny. They're idiots.
It was stupid. People still enjoying your smiling. Brian Kirk is out. We'll buy a shirt, so that's it. I at least can make that one. Will Johnny ever write a book? Is a great question. I don't know.
I don't know that I find any of this interesting.
Yeah,
the people would.
Yeah, I should point out the book I'm talking about would not be like an autobiography. I'm talking about what went into this show. But yeah, I mean, who knows? We talk so much. We talk so much here. Will Johnny ever write a book? A cookbook, maybe?
Not a very good cook.
A funny interview.
I think this place is haunted. I don't know. I keep hearing stuff sometimes. You know, let them take me. At this point, you know, how much worse can it get?
Come back to BWI soon.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh yeah, is that what it is? I don't think that's it.
Boy.
I think that's the Versailles, Ohio.
Midwest. No, BMI is the BMI Center. When they were saying,
body mass index.
I think it's Baltimore.
Washington International. Maybe you're right. Yeah, Johnny's right. Okopiki.
Because they're saying come back, and we didn't go to the other one yet.
No, I see. Johnny's correct. Okay. BWI is in Ferndale, Maryland.
I like Maryland. There's something about it. Like maybe because it's by the water. It's got a nice vibe over there.
Your first show with Stephen Piercy was in the state.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was hard. I'm trying to find fun in the things I do. I look back and I just You know, when you're in the moment, you don't realize it. And then you try to, when you look back later, you're like, oh, that was fun. And I'm going back like 3 years right now, and I can't think of one fun thing.
Well, if you think of it, Johnny, let us know, and we'll do a show. I'm glad to see everybody here, seeing Johnny's smiling face. We are. I'm glad that we got to join you. Any plans to play the Lucky Eagle Casino here in Texas? I don't know. That'd be great.
Sure hope so.
We're going to Texas. We need to extend that. At the end of each show, I like to take my jacket off, like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I've never met an unlucky eagle. So there's that. They seem like they would have a lot of luck. They're very revered.
Yeah, yes, I think so. Jeffrey Smith points out Maryland is famous for crab cakes, but we all know that went. If you didn't
at the
see
airport,
go back to the beginning.
And you know, we walked around that airport. We walked past like 50 places, like lined up ones with lights, and you know, this is the boardwalk, and this one was like off the beaten path. And we went down there, and we got to walk all. Well, we got to find this one. It's going to be great. And the waiter was put together. He was in good shape. That was just. We were afraid we were going to get sick on the plane. I actually literally made myself think I was going to throw up. Remember, I even took bags from the other areas and had it ready to go.
Yeah. Well, it was not. I don't know what we were thinking. To get on a plane for 5.5-hour flight to ingest crab, coleslaw, crab soup, the worst of it all.
Oh man, what a nightmare!
You would need Cologuard after eating all that.
A full thing of soup, crab, and that whatever that coleslaw was, and then like a dessert thing at Starbucks. Oh,
well, then, yeah, and we had Starbucks throughout the day.
Just a mess. That's just a mess.
The women in Starbucks, I should point out before we get out of here, they love Johnny. We went to an all-black Starbucks. They do serve white. No, they serve whites, but otherwise it's an all-black Starbucks. I don't remember what state that was. It was a different one.
Oh yeah, where was that?
Connecticut, maybe.
It seems like we're such like jet setters. Like, oh, we can't even figure out where we've been, but they don't realize it's not even like that. You know, you just don't know. You just don't understand.
Life on the road is very hard. But anyway, Johnny was wearing his Drake jacket, and the people really related to it. They really liked it. They were trying to have Hotline Bling time with Johnny. And there's other things that they liked about Johnny, and I think they upgraded our beverages to a bigger size. I don't speak Starbucks. Ariana Grande is not the biggest one.
You asked for a medium.
I always ask for a medium,
and the people are like, "What's a medium?" Oh, honey, it's the grande. Well, then why don't they call it that?
I think she actually said. And we got, but because Johnny is a friend of the people, they gave us a extra large drink. I had green tea with no sweetener on the rocks because it's the only thing that they really have that's cool and refreshing and doesn't involve massive amount of sugar to give me a diabetic coma. And Johnny, what did you have?
I had I believe I had the strawberry.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With no water.
What do they call that drink, Johnny? What is the name of that?
It's very refreshing.
Yeah, but it has a name. It's refreshing, but it's a what is the stuff that goes in it?
Yeah, that's called something. It's well, the people know refreshers or something like that. I don't know. The people know. They're the ones that I'll go back and forth between the dragon fruit and the strawberry, but I don't like to mix it with anything. I just like it with the one and no water.
Right, no water. You say is the key. You met I remember now because there was a lovely woman, seemed to be possibly your future bride or your second family. She was fascinated in your no water, and she said that she would try that next time.
Oh, and Aki.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to say acai.
All right.
That's what I
You
was fishing.
know, I've never been to France.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why I always have a trouble with that word. I just know when I say strawberry, they know what I'm talking about.
Hmm. Tyler Loney says, "Dude, saw you at Vam apostrophe P Vamp for the first time. I checked out your Spotify. I love that. I used to be in an upset."
Oh, well, that is an instrumental tune. So for any guitar players or people that are interested in that kind of guitar stuff, would like that one. I have another one called 240 and another one called What the Heck Are You Talking About? And those are all, I believe they're out there. If they're not,
Johnny,
they should be.
you told me there's an all instrumental record, just one. What is that called?
Guitar Geek Instrumentals.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that one tonight. I'm gonna go online and listen to that one.
Yeah, Chip wasn't very happy with that song.
Why not?
Like,
Oh, the Enough's Enough
well,
one.
kind of make a little fun of them in it. And it's basically Howard Stern and Chip having an interview.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I added some guitar solos appropriately where they should be, which is all over it.
Yeah, I think that's fitting. Well, we're coming up at the 2 hour mark, which means we have 3.5 minutes to go.
Oh, boy.
If anyone would, a lot of nice words about Johnny. Everybody's a fan of Johnny.
I don't know. I just think it's
Esthetician.
the
Esthetician.
it's the new me, spreading joy,
Esthetician.
and I'm working on my pronunciation for words, and trying to remember people's names and what they do.
Yes.
When I meet them. So I'm really trying to just be a better me. Namaste. Which is...
Well, that's very well said and direct and to the point. I will point out as we wrap up, go to johnnymonaco.com to learn more about Johnny Monaco. You can buy all his music on there and other cool merchandise. You can also see all the shows that he has lined up. I believe he'll have a Patreon coming up soon.
I do have to start a Patreon. I've been hearing about it.
He's going to have that, and you can also go to his social media. Johnny takes it serious. Johnny's the best at social media. He's the only man I know who can get 1 million likes on a picture eating crabs or sitting on the floor in an airport. Johnny is very popular. So check out his, social media. If you want to see Johnny and I in person, they've been getting a lot of questions about Johnny and I doing in stores and meet and greets and hosting and all that could happen. You can email. My email's in the channel here. But getting a lot of that. And you go to officialstephenpercy.com if you want to see the tour dates. And then if you go into the description, my half-ass Patreon is up there. I will be sending out tons of videos tonight, so you get to see stuff before everybody else. Johnny, did we miss anything?
I'm sure we missed a lot of stuff, but everything we do, it's sort of like you'd have to take notes to remember it all. Everywhere we go, we're like, oh, hold on, that was funny. Let me write that down. I guess we could do that, but they're gonna have to step up their game.
Yeah, well, I mean, 200 plus people have sat here the entire time, and we've done this with absolutely no notice 20 minutes before
I got that right.
We started. And so, yes, and as Johnny said, it's not that we're such jet setters, but you are in a different airport in a different city, many times cities that you've never heard of, and you meet people, and it's nice. I can't tell you how many nice people I met at those Canyon Club shows who watched the show and come over, and it's great. I'm happy to listen to other people when they come over. It's amazing what people remember about their favorite episode or their favorite guest, and or when Johnny said something crazy, or when we went for custard. I'm so glad that people enjoy this channel, 13,000 subscribers, 20 coming. And, you know, I will tell you, we have the month off. And so Johnny is going to work on his a solo record. She said she found her soulmate. And I'm going to be working on, I shot a lot of content when I started this channel of famous locations and cool places I went to. And so some of that will be coming out as well. We're going to stay busy in this time. Johnny, do you want to leave the people with anything?
Oh, you know, I think you summed it up. And yeah, I'm going to put that page together and just trying to work on guitar stuff and seeing what comes up next. So before I die, because this death clock thing has kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Do you think it's accurate?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, I mean, as a doctor telling me,
Is it an actual ticking clock?
it's like they tell you like what year you'll make it to.
Well,
I mean,
do you want to say?
it's like in my 70s.
That's not
But
bad.
that's still pretty young. I mean, you know, LA Guns is they're still going.
True, and they are in their 70s,
Chip
80s.
still playing out. You know, like the Rod Stewart and people like that. I like to think Paul McCartney. You know, but not even for that. You know, there's really. I mean, I don't know what more I really have to do. I just don't want to die here. You know, I can just picture the people in the building. Oh, did something happen? It was that one guy that walks around in his underwear, looks, you know, vexed all the time, comes down for his mail and they don't have it, and he's yelling at them. And oh, right, I've seen him. He looked like he had mental problems. They found him in the bathtub. It's terrible. Wearing his clothes. Now, I don't know. I don't know exactly. You know, I don't know what to do. But I know summer's coming. All you can do is live in the moment. But that doesn't mean like go crazy. You know, it just means like live in the moment. But, you know, think of, you know, because anything could happen. At the same time, you kind of got to be, you know, you don't want to like do something to cause the death.
Yeah. No, I
don't know. I just need to buy some better clothes or something, because they go through my closet and they check out my, you know, browser history. It's not going to be good. Yeah.
No,
I need some time.
Have you worked on your living will?
No, but that's something too. I just don't know that I, you know, leave to who. I don't have any kids. I don't have any, when, you know, I could literally, when you're single, you know, you're kind of like not important. I mean, you could die and nothing would happen. If you die in your family, you have a kid or a wife, and you're, you know, carrying the family, or you're supplying them with, you know, money and, you know, love. Well, you have an obligation. But when you're single, you know, I mean, you have a cat, but they'll probably take the cat and give it to somebody. It'll be crying after it's done eating you. And then it will, you know, have a family of its own, and probably it'll be just fine. And me, I don't know. This guitar is pretty cool, but otherwise, I mean, what are they going to take? This computer is like 100 years old. The phone, there's some scandalous stuff on there, I still have to, you know, I got my jacket, the red jacket, you know, as seen before death. I don't know. I don't really think that it's going to matter. I think like a month will go by, and then like someone on Metal Sledge will talk about it, and maybe they'll mention it, you know, on Facebook a little bit, and then a month later, someone else will die and they won't remember.
That's usually what happens. Yeah. You saw Leonard Skinner died, right? Guy survived the plane. Yeah. He dies in his 70s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he made it long enough, you know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, some people, they don't have a chance. They never had a chance and they die young, or they were at the top of their career and they die, or they lived a long life, but they died. And, you know, it's shocking that he died in the 70s. He could have had 10 more. So there's never like a good time, right? I guess, you know.
Scarlett's offering to be your wife. So she says, you'll be fine. So that's good, Johnny. She can take care of you. Johnny's not like Johnny's a bit like a mogwai, though. Taking care of him is not as easy as you think. You know, you can't feed him after midnight. Can't get him wet, and he hates bright light.
Well, just now that every time I'm hanging out, and I think I see like a shadow of a sickle. I'm like freaked out, and then I realize it's
They're there
that,
for anger.
the headstock of my ibis.
Yeah,
That's
we
sort of like, oh, jeez, thought he was
well,
coming.
Eric had a heart attack at one of our shows. Eric Stevens, guitar player, and the Grim Reaper was hanging out looking. He was looking for somebody to take. And Eric somehow cheated him though. Maybe he wasn't. It wasn't his time, and it wasn't the right place. But we do see the Grim Reaper does come to a lot of shows. You can tell by the outfit and the sickle, and the song "Rock You to Hell" playing when he enters. Let's see.
Yeah, boy, I gotta. Yeah, I don't know. It's. What are you gonna do? That's why some people are just reckless and they do crazy things like tattoo their face or go to EDM concerts or drive on the wrong side of the road. They're challenging death because they're like, I'll do what I want because that world could end tomorrow. But there's a difference in possible and probable. Is it possible like the moon could fall out of the universe and out of rotation and kill us? Is it probable? No.
Well, we have to prepare. We have to prepare for everything in life, just in case. Johnny, we should figure out where we're going to eat. Michelle will be here soon. I'm going to feed my cat, and then.
Are we doing that? Okay. Well, let me know if you want to go. Otherwise,
we'll discuss it off the air because we wouldn't want people to know the location of where we're going to be. I need to have a lot of fiber though in my meal.
Oh yeah, for pooping.
Got a giant box to fill, and inordinately large.
Fill that
box.
If you take one of those laxatives, you would hand that to me. Like, filled it with chocolate milk.
It comes with instructions, labels, bracket, container, a tube, and a preservative. So the preservative, I think, is what keeps it fresh. What a job this must be.
That sounds terrible. I bet there's someone that filmed it on YouTube and they just blurred out parts.
Oh, yeah, maybe I should watch it and I just learn from that.
What's there to do? You go in there, you send it to them. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, is there a consistency you think that they're looking for?
I mean, like a human poo. Like some days, you know how they're a little rough. Some days it's like soft serve.
Mine is John Doe.
Sometimes they're hard to get out. Like if you eat something weird and it feels like nothing came out, and it comes out just like a little, pinched clean.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ones after Italian meals. Those really have an explosion.
Well, we'll have to think very carefully about where we get. But with that, it's not like we share every detail. We have to keep some things private.
Yeah, so. I probably need to know. Yeah, you'll be fine. Go do it and send it in. If it makes you feel a little better, probably you'll get a thing back and it'll say like you're doing good. Thanks for pooping with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you ever wanted to get a colonoscopy in the future, you can always do that. But this is a good way to do something.
There's a movie called Spies Like Us where Chevy Chase says, "Thank you for the bruises, and you can keep the stool samples, but we're going home." And that is how I feel about this experience. Johnny, any idea? I mean, J.K. says Hudson. Okay, maybe he's giving you a code.
I don't know what that means. 32700. Oh.
Scarlett says it's a riveting conversation. Scarlett, do you not have this kind of conversation on your program?
I think what that is a commercial. It's a commercial from the 70s in Chicago. It's a commercial. Yeah. It's like a cleaning company. I think, right?
I don't know. I don't know much about Chicago. I do know, Johnny, that there is going to be a Chicago area show added very soon.
Yeah, I wish that those dates were backwards.
I knew you would say that when I saw it because you would have time to stay longer.
That's right.
Yeah, we cannot say when, where, who, or whom, but there will be a show and in the Chicago area. And
we should tell him to flip those. I bet he would. Whatever.
You act like
What?
you act like
And
organization.
I got a great new thing that I was told that I should put on the rider that people have done in the past and they don't have a problem with doing.
Yeah,
Gold toe socks.
gold toe socks.
And you always then you get fresh ones. I
Yeah.
find I play better with a fresh set.
Really? But have you been considering going to the ankle socks like I've suggested?
I did think about that, and I have a lot of I have a whole drawer full of novelty socks.
Hmm.
I don't like stuff like this, but I don't really wear that kind of stuff because I like athletic socks. But I'm wearing them now because I'm down to two because all my socks have holes in them. I had to turn them around and they don't fit right in the holes on top of the ankle.
Mhm.
But I think I'm still going to go with the regular crew and just roll them down because I don't like it all the way up, but I don't want it to where there's nothing around the ankle. I like it in the middle. So that's why I fold it and then I scrunch. So I get up just so it covers my ankle bone area. Yours are like tennis, way
Mhm.
down there. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that. I was trying it the other day, walking around the house with a pair I made, and it's a little uncomfortable.
You made your own socks?
Well, I rolled them down to the point to where they would be the same rise as like a footy or whatever you call those.
Yeah. Well, it's like wearing nothing at all. All right, listen, we have to save something for next time. If we sit here and continue to give away all this entertainment, who would tune in next time?
I just feel like we've missed so much stuff, and there's some stuff I'd like to redo. But
You want to just do this whole show over again?
see, that's what I would do. I would just delete all of them as I went. They would never come out. But that's not what people say nowadays. Don't worry about imperfections or tweaking it, or just put out content. And I get that. But
Chris is saying goodnight. He'd like to hear the shaving cream song for an outro. I don't know if we have it.
I don't even think I'd be able to play it. Yeah, I don't know if I would even know how to play it on guitar.
The shaving cream song was great. He'll work on that. You guys definitely belong in Florida. Thank you, Joe.
Florida. You're the first person to say that. Everyone else said steer clear.
Well, they have very large insects. They have very large iguanas and other reptilious monster creatures. They don't believe in lowering insulin prices. They don't believe in women's rights.
If you like older people, Republicans, and want to sweat out of your eyeballs, move to Florida.
Mm-hmm, that there is that, but they have Mickey Mouse. So
you're not going to go every day.
I would every day.
Not if you live there, you wouldn't.
Every day. You know who does that? You know who goes to Disneyland? He used to go every day. Buckethead. And no one knows.
Yeah, look at him. So how do you think you're going to get in every day? That's a lot.
You buy a season pass.
And I see you work this out.
Disney has 4 theme parks. They have the Animal Kingdom. They have the Magic Kingdom. They have the Hollywood Studios. It might have a new name now. And then they have Epcot Center. And so I could just live in those theme parks and pretend that life is not the miserable place it is. I just sit there on the carousel and think, like Walt would, and feel the way. Even not that Walt ever saw the Florida park, but anyway, I would just be there all day and all night.
I would rather just go to Pleasure Island.
I don't know where that is. There's a lot of Disney hate that always comes around. I mean, listen, it's not for everybody, but
that's because they're a conspiracy and they think that you've heard all the horror stories, right?
Yes. It's the happiest.
Pleasure Island's one of them. Yeah,
it's the happiest place on earth. Resurrected Rex joining us. Scotty G moved there. Is that the end of the SS rejects? Just for the record, Sin City would be SC. SS would be the Nazi Party. They're two very different things. Hey, I don't know. Scotty and I have talked. He said he has no plans to come back to Vegas anytime soon.
Well, I'm glad we didn't give him a toaster.
Yes. Yes, for sure. But he's having a.
This is why I don't go to weddings.
Yeah, that's it. We went to the wedding. We all bonded. We broke bread. We thought we were all going to be double dating, triple dating, and then those fuckers took the first plane.
That's right. That's right. It's like we got our waffle maker. Let's move.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks. A good thing, Johnny, we didn't go in on that waffle maker.
I would have been upset about that.
Yeah, we would want to return. Anyway, I said we were going to end this 20 minutes ago, and here I am. Jason the Mason says, move to Celebration, Florida. I think Disney founded that city. I think Disney did create that city. A guy named Adam the Woo, who has a podcast show.
I'd go where the beach is, because I'd just be like on the beach, like working out, doing some squats and just checking out the bitches. Nope. National Women's Month.
National Women's Month.
Be like, what?
Well, no one has super chatted in quite some time, so I think that means they want us to go. Bitsy, please. They want us to go away. We'll privately discuss eating after this. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the show. Tune in next Wednesday. Rudy Sarzo and friends. We're going to talk Quiet Riot. We're going to have a great time. And new interview Friday, new tour diary Monday. All those things. Thank you for watching, and for John in Monaco, this is Jason Green saying good night.